guys, so this is actually gonna be really bad because I can't find my camera that I usually use, so the lighting's really bad. I'm using my MacBook. Also, this is actually in response to my short question and answers video that I posted last week, which was where am I from and what ethnicity am I? I knew that that was going to probably open up a big box of questions, which I didn't think I'd get so many responses from that. I got over 52 emails from people of all different ages, all different races, asking me questions, and some just really supportive emails, which was really nice, um, about my adoption, and they wanted to know more things about it. So even though I read through every single one of the emails, I don't have enough time to respond to everybody, and I really apologize. I really want to be personal and respond back, but I don't have that kind of time on my hands right now. So I wrote most of you back and told you that I would be making this video to answer some of your questions a little bit more personally. So I went through all the emails and I wrote down most of the questions. I hope I caught most of them. A lot of them were the same question, just asked in a different way. So it's pretty thinned out, but this might be a lengthy video, I don't know. But yeah, so I'll just get started. None of these are in any order, they're just in the order as I pass them through each sequential email. First one was, how old was I when I was adopted? I was 13 months old. I don't know exactly how old I was when I came to the orphanage. I know it's in my papers. I think I saw those a long time ago. I haven't looked at them since. But I was about 8 months old when I was actually given up to the adoption agency. I was left in a shelter. Um, so, yeah, I was 13 months old. I was supposed to come, I guess, a few months before I did, but like any adoption story, everything changed. Things can change, things take forever. So, yeah. Why did my parents adopt? I'm assuming you're meaning my adoptive parents, and they adopted. I know for a fact that one of the reasons was because they felt like they didn't want to overpopulate or contribute to overpopulating the world, so they wanted to replace themselves on this earth, and then that be it. My dad had a firm belief that every brother needed a sister and every sister needed a brother. So their first two kids, their biological kids, were boys. They were both 10-pounder boys, so I think that probably nudged my mom in that direction too to adopt. But so since they had two boys to replace themselves on the earth, they then adopted two girls. I know that after my sister was adopted, she they had another possibility of another adoption. I think it was a little, I don't know if it was a little girl. I don't remember. But they had, I think, an option of adopting a African American child from Africa, but for some reason that fell through, and then I came along. So they just lucked out, kind of. Also, my mom's older brother and his wife had adopted three children from Korea, so that's why they, I think, went towards that country first. So, yes, that is why my parents adopted. Have I tried to search for my birth parents? Yes and no. It's very expensive to do a search like that, and also for me, it's very unrealistic for me to be able to find my biological parents. Um, like I said, I was left when I was, in a baby, not an infant, not a newborn. I was about 8 months old. I was left in an orphanage shelter, so nobody saw me being left or anything. There are no records of anything, my birthday, my name, nothing. So it's it'd be very difficult for me to find whoever left me. So I have thought about it a lot. My parents have never, discouraged me from doing it, but it would be very expensive and very difficult for me to find my biological parents. So yeah. Um, this this is actually a question that came in a nasty email. I didn't get too many nasty emails, but I did get this one. They were pretty like annoyed with me and thought that I was being selfish by not adopting myself. They thought it was selfish of me because I needed to return the favor kind of thing. So I got the question, why didn't I adopt? And I'm going to be 100% honest with you because that's what I intended for this video. I didn't adopt because A, it's very expensive. If you think about it, it was an upwards of thousands of dollars for my parents to adopt myself and my sister, and that was almost 20 some years ago. I'm 25 now, so that was like almost a quarter of a century ago, and it was that much money. Like now, it's like tripled. So I could not afford to adopt a child. Also, and this is not meant to discourage anybody who has given a child up for adoption or is thinking about it or who has adopted or wants to. I don't want this to discourage you, but I myself have a lot of deep seated issues that I still deal with on an everyday basis, and they all stem from being adopted. And I don't think that I can handle a child with those same feelings if I can't even get past my own. I don't think it's fair for the child, and I don't think that I, as a parent, could handle that. So that is my reasoning for that. It's just a personal choice. I think adoption is amazing. I think that a lot of countries are taking advantage of adoption and using it as more of a moneymaker. I think that there are a lot of children in need and a lot of couples, whether they be interracial, gay, straight, middle class, upper class, that deserve to have kids who would take very good care of kids but are not given chances because of whatever their status is or how much money that they make. So the whole situation is just it was not going to be a possibility for me to even do that even if I wanted to. So there's that. Thank you for being rude to me, by the way. That was uncalled for. The person who sent me that email. What things did I struggle with growing up? I had a lot of let's see. I grew up in a small, very small, white suburban area in Normal, Illinois. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but there, it's out. I don't live there anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter. I had mainly white kids around me all the time. I don't know when the day was that I realized that I was adopted or different from anybody else. I think I always knew. I don't think anybody ever sat me down and explained it to me. I don't think it had to be explained. But ever since I was little, I mean, I struggled with my identity, not knowing anything about my past, not having a single baby picture of myself before like 10 months old. I mean, I think a lot of people take it for granted. Think about all the baby pictures your mom or dad has of you, or your baby books, or, your hospital newborn picture. I don't have any of that. I don't know what I looked like before almost 8 to 9 months old. And that's very hard. I don't have any pictures I can compare my kids to. Um, I don't have a huge chunk of my life. I don't know. I didn't know my blood type for the longest time because I never had a need to. I didn't have any surgeries, so I didn't know. I don't know what hospital I was born in. I don't know where I'm from, really. I know my adoption agency was in South Korea, but who knows? I could be North Korean. I don't know a lot of things, and that can cause a huge identity issue. That affected me more probably as I got older than when I was younger. When I was younger, it was more of just being different, being made fun of because I was Asian and the way that I looked. I actually still get really narrow-minded, just ignorant people who say stuff to me still to this day. And it's just a constant struggle. I also struggled with trust issues, abandonment issues, being left. I was always that girl when I was a teenager and dating. I would leave the relationship first. I don't think I've never been broken up with because I never let anybody have the chance to. I found any reason to get away before anything got too serious or too close. Because they're just, you don't, if you can't trust your parents who are supposed to love you more than anyone to not leave you, how can you trust somebody else, kind of? So there's that. Again, most of those issues were when I was older, not so much as when I was younger. And then there's also the issues of just not knowing why somebody didn't want you, not thinking you're ever good enough. And then when you have kids, harassing you or bullying you out of high school, or even as a, younger child, saying that you're ugly, or, making fun of the way your eyes look, it's just like more added on to, well, maybe that's why my parents didn't want me. you know, maybe I'm too ugly, maybe I'm too this or that or whatever. And so that was really difficult. But I'm thankful for my parents that I have, and I'm very grateful that I've been raised in a, you know, loving family. So I have that. Um, do you still struggle with things now? Ooh, I kind of answered that, but yes, I do. Every day of my life, I do. There's not a single moment that goes by that I don't think about all the pain and hurt that I have inside of not knowing. Just not knowing, like, that's the worst feeling in the world, is not knowing and not ever, and knowing that I will never know. My son's going upstairs. Hold on. Is it all gone? Do you want more? Okay. Hold on a second. I can't edit this, so you're just gonna have to wait and sit. Hold on. Let's go get more. Come on. Show him. Come with me to the kitchen. Come here. There you go. Take it downstairs, okay? Go downstairs. Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't remember what I was saying. It's my son, Wyatt. He's watching Caillou. And this is the only time I could find to make this video, and obviously it's not working very well. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, things I struggle with now. Yeah, it's the not knowing and knowing that I can never know, that I struggle with as of right now as an adult. Um, Especially being pregnant right now. It's so it's so difficult not being able to know what my family health history is. A lot of things that can happen during pregnancy you get from your birth mother, and for me, I don't have anyone to talk to about that. I can't say, oh, hey, you know, biological mom, did you experience this during your pregnancy too? You know, what should I expect? What kind of size babies did you have? Like, I have no one to ask those questions to. Um, in terms of all those questions in the boxes at doctor's offices, like, you know, what family history, I have to check adopted, not applicable, you know, I don't know. And it's just like every single time that I have to do one of those things, it's just a constant reminder that I'm missing that part of my life and that part of, you know, knowing. So that's really hard. I also struggle with looking at my kids every day and seeing things that don't look like me or their fathers, and wondering, you know, well, maybe is that from my birth parents? Like, does he get those ears from my birth father, or, you know, the size of his feet or that kind of thing? Like, it's just hard, you know, and I still struggle with trust issues. I have maybe a handful of really good friends. I think I probably have one best friend. Um, it's hard for me to trust anybody because everybody who I have trusted has just kind of let me down and left me. And that's another thing that I have a hard time with. So, yeah, so I definitely say I still struggle with it. I'm reminded every day that I don't know things. Like, this is a perfect example. I have a hairdresser, and she's always like, oh, yeah, you're a Libra, you're like this, you're like that, I'm a Libra too. And so many times I want to say, I could be a Capricorn, or I could be a Scorpio, or I could be this or that. If I believed in that stuff, like, you know, I could say those things, but then I would have to explain to her the whole story of the fact that I don't know when I was born, you know? And so it's like things like that, like silly little things that you wouldn't think about, like, are a constant reminder to me because I don't know that information about myself. Um, when people are talking about those Chinese lunar calendars to figure out what sex of their baby they're having, I look at mine and I don't even know. I could be 26 right now, you know? I could be 24 right now. My birthday could be off by a few months, you know, and I don't know those things, so I can't participate in those fun little games. And it's just like a constant reminder of the fact that I don't know, and it hurts. So I think I've really talked about that too much. So we'll go on to another question. Um, would you suggest adoption to others? Definitely. Just because can't do it personally and wouldn't do it does not mean that I don't believe in it. I think it's a great thing. And yeah, I would definitely, if you have the right mindset, you're patient enough, you have enough love for a child that you know, you recognize we'll have some issues growing up, then I say definitely. I suggest it to wholeheartedly. I think that there are a lot of kids that deserve to be loved and are just waiting to be loved. So yeah, I'd suggest it to others. Do you want to find your birth parents? It's kind of the same question. Yes and no. A huge part of me says no. Well, no, I'll start with yes. A huge part of me says yes because I could have all my answers, or all my questions answered, and that would be great. And I could see somebody who looks like me, and I have this fantasy of finding my birth mother and her being, just looking exactly like me, but 20, 30 years older, and it's just like such a cool feeling. But at the same time, part of me says no because I don't want to find out that they didn't want me, because I don't want to know why they didn't want me, or if they didn't want me, or I don't know. It's just the possibility of them giving me up because they purely just didn't want me for any reason is really scary. And I don't, like, right now I can live in a fantasy world and think, oh, maybe they died, or maybe they couldn't, they're war refugees, or I don't know. Right now I can have my own little bubble of thinking that it had nothing to do with me. So if I met them and I found out that it had something to do with me, that would really hurt. And I don't think I could live with that. So yes and no. What is the hardest thing about being adopted? I feel like I keep answering the same questions. I should have probably weeded through these a little bit more. Hardest thing about being adopted, again, not knowing. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it really has messed with a lot of my relationships. So that's really hard to not have healthy relationships. Really hard. I don't know. That I've already answered that question. So, don't you think? Oh, this was another mean email I got. They asked me, don't you think it is selfish to have kids instead of adopting when you yourself were adopted? And I think I only left this because of the way this question was worded. Verbatim, that's what it said. It was only that and nothing else. No signature, nothing, whatever. It's just that comment to me. I don't know. Do I think it's selfish? Probably. Do I have a right to be selfish? Yes. I think that I didn't have a choice to be put in the situation that I am in as a baby. So wasn't that selfish of somebody else? Like, when I got pregnant with Ava, I was 17 and my options were limited. I didn't believe in abortion for how I got pregnant. I did not know about adoption, how I felt about it. I waited. My father had numerous people contact him saying that they were interested in my baby as an open adoption. I considered it. I really did. It became not an option for two different reasons. One, because my baby's daddy, his parents said, if you put her up for adoption, we will adopt her. That to me sucked. It basically put me in a hard place and a rock, because okay, so I give up my baby and then she's going to live 20 minutes away from me. Not with her father by any means. He didn't suggest taking her, but his parents did. Like, basically, they gave me no choice. That wasn't the only reason, though. The other reason was because my husband's home. The other reason was because I could not fathom giving away my only bloodline. I couldn't do it. And then after I had her and I saw how much she looked like me and how, the feeling of having somebody of my lineage, I was addicted, and I love my son. I love my daughter. I'm going to love this baby. And so, yes, maybe it may be a little bit selfish, but my choice, my babies, and my body, and my life. So I think I've suffered enough for other things. My husband's home and I'm kind of like nervous making this video in front of him. I don't usually make videos in front of him. Hi, honey.
Hello.
I'm making a video and I can't edit it.
Are you not answering your phone today?
My phone was in here while I was outside with my mom talking. I didn't see that until a few minutes ago.
Why can't you edit it?
Because it's on this stupid like YouTube edit tool. Like it's the only way I can get my camera on my Mac to like not warp my voice. And then I've been trying to like get this adoption video done for like.
So you're doing. Why don't you edit it now?
Because I can't edit it.
I thought that's an editing tool.
Yeah, but it doesn't like crop scenes out. It only like enhances or like adds captions.
Oh, you can't do that quick skip thing?
Yeah, so now you're in my video.
Well, bye.
And now this is awkward because you're home. That was my husband. His name is John.
Hello.
And my son's excited to see him. Anyways, my next question, now that this is really awkward. How do you deal with not knowing things? That was another question I got from somebody. I just suffer silently, or to my husband, kind of, or to my parents. They're very good and open about talking to me about my adoption. I just take it one day at a time, basically. I know that there's nothing I can do to fix it, and I know that there's nothing I can do to change it, so I just live my life and cry a little bit every day about it. So there's that. If you could change anything, what would it be? There's a lot of things in my life that I would change that aren't necessarily due to being adopted, and they aren't things that I would necessarily share with you guys because they aren't related to my adoption. I wouldn't change a lot of things that people would expect that I would, like became pregnant so young, because I never wanted kids before I got pregnant with Ava, and because I did get pregnant with her, and the choice was kind of out of my hands after that to have kids, I've been able to have Wyatt and get married to a great guy and got pregnant again. So yeah, I don't regret that. I don't know if I would change anything. I guess I would change, you know what? No, I lied. I would change a few things. I would change the fact that I don't have any baby pictures of myself. I don't think I would change the fact of not knowing my biological parents. I would kind of keep that the way that it is. But I would have wished that my birth mother or father or whoever left me at the orphanage would have at least left my real name, my real birthday, and some baby pictures of myself. Because those are the things that I yearn for the most. Like, it sounds so silly, but think about not knowing about the day that you were born on, and it really messes you up. Like, my birthday for the longest time was like my most dreaded day because it wasn't my real birthday, and I knew it, and so it just really sucked having that one whole day reminder and everyone saying happy birthday, and you feeling inside that, okay, that's not my birthday, I don't know when it is. So those would be the things I'd change. I'd change the not knowing about my birthday, what I looked like when I was a baby, and my real name. How has it been? How has being adopted affected your life? Good Lord, I did not, all these, now that I'm answering these questions, they're all basically the same. How has being adopted affected my life? John, how has being adopted affected my life?
You have emotional detachment issues.
My husband just said that I have emotional detachment issues. What do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? Take it for what it's worth. Maybe you guys know what it means. I guess I do. I guess I do have those issues. I don't know exactly what he means by that, by example. Oh, my husband says I don't like to be touched. I'm not a very... You don't like to snuggle or cuddle or anything. I'm not a very cuddly person. I'm not a very snuggly, cuddly person. I'm a very loving person, though. Am I not?
Hey, what's for dinner, baby?
Well, answer my question. I'm very loving.
You are very loving, considerate person.
See, I'm very loving and considerate. I'm just not a snuggler, which probably...
Snuggle you?
No, stop it. I can't edit this video. But yeah, so apparently I'm emotionally detached, according to my husband. Also, I would probably say that I'm pregnant and irritable right now, but that's because my husband's being rude, interrupting. I don't know how it's other than that. I mean, I've already explained, my trust issues, my relationships being messed up, and all of that. So Yeah, I think I've answered that question. My husband added something in that I didn't think about, but I guess it's true. I am not a very cuddly person, and that probably stems off of just who knows what this stems off of. Maybe I get that from one of my biological parents, and I just don't know it.
Your dad.
Anyways, and then the last one, which again I've already answered, is would I ever put a child up for adoption? Well, no, I haven't and wouldn't. So that's the easy question. No, I would not. Um, oh wait, there's more. Would I ever suggest somebody putting their child up for adoption? Yeah, I mean, I think I think if you can find the right people to take the baby or whatever, I think it's better than a lot of other situations you could do. Um, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Do you think it's a good idea? Adoption? My husband's hungry. That's all he's talking about. But yeah, so yes, I would suggest it because even though I have my emotional issues, does not mean that every other kid will. And the circumstances are different because, like, my sister knows her real birthday, she knows the hospital she was born in, and all those things. So things that are really important to me, she has. So she probably has different issues that I don't have. But yes, so I would suggest it. I think it's great. Thumbs up. But I guess having Wyatt and my husband in this video has kind of helped me because I thought I would be like a crying mess making this, being pregnant and all. But I'm sorry this video is really like babbly and I don't think I answered questions correctly, or I don't know, it's hard to answer these questions because they're so personal, they're so personal and it's a personal subject. And a lot of them didn't maybe make sense, but if you're adopted, maybe they made sense to you. Basically, if you take anything away from this video, I hope it's that you know that if you are my age or older, or adult, or you're younger, it's not uncommon to have these feelings, I have them every day. I'm constantly wondering every day. I'm constantly suffering every day for one reason or another. I'm constantly sad and I'm constantly, yeah, it affects me on a daily basis. So if you're hurting and stuff, it's completely normal, and it's normal for it not to go away. So I think that's all I wanted to get across to people, because a lot of the emails I got were just people asking me, that they feel these certain ways. Do I? So yes, I do, and you're normal, and hopefully you have a great partner or great parents or great siblings that you can talk to, because I think it really helps. So, or you can talk to me or email me back. So there's that. All right, I think I'm done. My husband is hungry, my son is screaming, and this video is already almost a half an hour long. Great. All right, well, I will talk to you later. Next week's question and answer video will be so much shorter because I'm not doing one of these again. All right, bye.